Here we go, y'all. Greetings. Welcome to Messy Monday. Welcome to Messy Monday. And babies, today's going to be particularly messy. Greetings, y'all. Welcome to 773 Oracle and Tarot. It's your girl, Shout Out Ronnie. You know what we here for. Today, baby, she came to work. Palo Santo, she came to work because she knows about this transit. So, let me ask you something. Y'all ever noticed how some people can hold things together for a long time, weeks, months, even years? They just like, just like a lake of tranquility. And then one little thing happens, and then suddenly they just go the actual fuck off. All the anger, all of the frustration, all of the resentment, all comes pouring out. Can you all see that? I'm trying to get it so that you can see all right. And I'm pulling this one. We're pulling it right there. Keep it right there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and then for our downloads, we're going to be using Deja Druid Personal Power Oracle. Okay. So yeah, these people, they keep it all together. They're the ones that you think is, never going to snap. And then one little thing, and then it's like Mount Vesuvius. They just go off. And that is part of this transit. This is that Mars squares Pluto energy. Because we've got Mars in Taurus squaring off with Pluto in Aquarius. Man, I told you about that Pluto with Aquarius. I told you with that. Pluto is not here to play games with nobody. And she's going to be stationed in Aquarius for the next 25 years. And the last time we saw that, it was the World War. No, I'm sorry, not the Revolutionary War. And you can tell by our geopolitical environment that, Mama's on brand. Yeah, that Pluto in Aquarius energy is right on brand. And so here comes Mars in Taurus wanting to poke the bear. And this transit is bringing up all of these buried emotions to the surface. And this is not fake surface level emotions either. This is the deep shit. This is the suppressed anger. These are the control issues. These are the survival fears. This is emotional exhaustion. These are power struggles. What else? Resentment that people never fully dealt with. This transit today does not create the tension. It exposes what's already been quietly beneath the surface. From everyday, people living just everyday lives. So Mars in Taurus, it wants that stability. It wants that comfort. It wants that sense of control. But Pluto in Aquarius, like I said, Pluto in Aquarius is not here for friendship. Pluto in Aquarius wants transformation. Pluto in Aquarius wants to dismantle the system that needs people to be on the bullshit. Pluto in Aquarius wants evolution and wants truth. And not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody is ready for all that. They say the truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. So this energy can feel like one part of you wanting to stay safe, while another part of you knows that something has to change. And honestly, that internal pressure can feel very heavy this week. It's going to feel very heavy this week. So let me show. Where is she? We starting with a major. I want to bring the tarot alignment. Here we go. Death. Yeah, we're going to start off with that. We're talking transformation. We're talking endings. We're talking letting go. We're talking about becoming somebody new. This card right here, it says you can't keep dragging that dead energy into your future. That's what this card is saying right here. And then we got my wands. You see all that conflama? You see all of that? You see all of that? Frustration, emotional tension, arguments. internal conflicts, ego battles. This energy can make people emotionally reactive if you don't slow down. You got to slow down. Take a pause for the cause, babies. Take a pause for the cause, because you're going to need, wait a minute, two major archons. You're going to need your strength right here. This is talking about emotional control. We're talking about emotional regulation. We're talking about patience. We're talking about self-awareness. We're talking about inner power. Real strength right now is not losing yourself when the emotions rise. There was an incident regarding a lady, Miss Anita Grayson. The situation is horrible. If you don't know about it, you should check it out. This woman is unalive. She had a heart attack, but depending on what side you're on in the situation, people say it could have been avoided. All I'm saying is that the emotions were there. And at the end of it, somebody lost their life. We don't have to do that. We do not have to do that. We can regulate ourselves. We can use that strength and we can regulate ourselves. So basically what I'm saying is that this transit is going to make people feel very easily irritated. They're going to be emotionally overwhelmed. They're going to be defensive. People are going to be stubborn. They're going to be stuck in their ways. They're going to be emotionally triggered. They're going to be tired of carrying stress internally. And some people may snap emotionally. Some people may shut down. Some people can become controlling. They want to avoid vulnerability. They want to start unnecessary arguments. They want to project their own will onto other people's. Because deep down, this energy is exposing where people feel powerless, where people feel emotionally unsafe, or where people feel emotionally exhausted. So Mars squaring Pluto can bring up buried emotions. It could bring up buried emotions up real fast, especially the low vibrational ones, especially anger, resentment, fear, control issues, survival thinking, emotional tension, the emotional tension that people never fully possessed. Yeah. This transit can expose where people learn to survive through control, through emotional suppression, or staying emotionally guarded all of the time. Some people are realizing I've been surviving for far too long, and that I forgot what peace even feels like. When that realization hits hard. Not every emotion, not every emotional reaction needs to become a war. This transit right here is going to teach us anger usually has pain underneath it. Control usually has fear underneath it. Emotional pressure can either transform you or it can consume you. Let me say that again. Emotional pressure can either transform you or it can consume you. And honestly, some people are finally being forced to face emotions that they've been avoiding for years. And not to destroy them, but to free them. You all are being called to face this so that you can be set free from these things. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild out here, y'all. Pressure reveals what still needs healing. Okay, Mars represents action. Mars represents willpower. Mars represents survival instinct. And Pluto represents deep transformation and emotional truth. So this transit will keep you fighting everything around you, or finally heal what's happening inside of you. You get to decide what this transit is going to do. I would pray it would be the latter. I would pray that it would be the latter. I got the affirmation for y'all. I got your affirmation. Here we go. I am transforming through healing, self-awareness, and emotional truth. I am transforming through healing, self-awareness, and emotional truth. Today, this week, we're not gonna react off pure emotion. We're gonna pay attention to our triggers. We're gonna stop trying to control every fucking thing. We're gonna give ourselves space before responding when emotions rise up. We're gonna be honest about what's really bothering us. So this is strong energy. This week, this is strong energy. This is strong energy for some shadow work, for some emotional healing, for some therapy, for confronting your toxic patterns, and we all got them. This is a good week for setting boundaries, for releasing up these bottled up emotions, and changing survival habits. This energy can become destructive if people refuse self-awareness. Everybody is not okay right now. And even if they look calm on the outside, remember that this week, that everybody is not okay right now. Even if they look calm on the outside. So y'all, what emotions have you been suppressing lately? What emotions have you been suppressing lately? You know, that's where you gotta come on. That's where you got to come to face with what you're doing. All right. So now y'all saw me do my shuffle. Y'all saw me do my pull. We're using the Personal Power Oracle by Deja Druid, and we've got right here. We've got card number 33, and this card right here says, "I'm fearless." Here it is. 3 plus 3 is 6. And when we talk about the numerological aspects of the number 6, we're talking about harmony. We're talking about improvement. We're talking about balance. We're talking about family matters. We're talking about romance. Listen, this card is conjunction right with the astrological forecast. And let me tell you, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? The very first card of our here we go. The Fool. I am fearless. This is Fool energy all day long. When we say we're fearless, we're talking about a new beginning. We're talking about a leap of faith. We're talking about trusting ourselves enough to start something. And collective, with this card right here, what would happen if you finally stopped holding yourself back? What would happen? With this card that says, I am fearless, we're talking about, excuse me, we're talking about being ready. We're talking about hopefulness. We're talking about nervous, but willing. And here it is, collective. You don't need to have everything figured out before you begin. We're talking about a fresh start, a new path, trusting your journey. And a lot of growth starts the moment you stop waiting to feel perfectly ready. I am fearless. You ain't got to be perfect to start. Do it anyway. A part of you already knows that it's time to move forward. And here we go. We're going to, for this card, we're going to affirm. I trust myself to begin. Here it is. I trust myself enough to begin. There we go. Stop waiting for that perfect moment, y'all. Start taking your first steps. Y'all know the rest. Hey, Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I also have platforms on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, wherever you happen to be watching it. Go ahead and join me on my other platforms, please. I too am trying to do this social media thing, you know, and shit. You know, liking, subscribing, that's free. There we go. I go live. This week is crazy, but I'm probably going to go live. I got a lot to talk about. So please hit that notification bell so you can meet me. All right. All right, y'all. Remember your assignment. Your assignment is your alignment. Stay blessed. Don't forget to tell the universe to show you how good it can be. All right, babies. Have a great day.